Hello and welcome to another new episode of Learning Simplified. In our previous tutorial so far, we have successfully built up our horizontal menu bar and we have added this drop-down list items to our horizontal menu bar. But the point is, as we can see here, that the toggling between the sublist items and the main menu bar, we can see that all of them are practically coming down in a very unfashionable way. Here it goes. This is practically not very accepted. Now if we head back to one of our earlier projects, we can see that on hovering the main menu list item, we can see that this is the drop down list which is been created right over here. So this is what we wish to do practically. We wish that the horizontal menu bar, it keeps separated from the rest of the content in our site, and on the other hand, this transformation between the main parent menu list and the sub list items, those could be a little bit of smooth animating, something like this one. So this is what we are going to do next. We are going to add this functionality into our horizontal menu bar display, where the transition between the drop down list and the main menu list will be a little bit of smoother than we have done previously into our project. So stay tuned. If we head back to our text editor, we can see that this is the main menu list, and inside this main menu list, here comes another unordered list, which is the sub menu of this individual main menu list. So this is the parent list item inside which we have created this sub menu list. Let's head back to style.css and get back to the unordered list inside the main menu list item. So where it is? Here. This is the main menu list item, and this is the unordered list that we are practically targeting. We need to keep it at a position absolute. Now definitely position absolute won't work if we do not mention the relative position of its parent holder. So in that particular case, we need to apply the property of position relative to the parent menu. And which one is it? Head back to this index.html. This is the list item which should be considered as the parent holder of this unordered list item that we have created inside it. So let's get back to style.css, and here we can see that this is the menu holder list item, so we need to consider it as the parent holder. We will be mentioning it as the parent menu. We'll be keeping this position to relative here. There it goes. And we can see that we have already placed this unordered list inside the main menu list item that we have created earlier. So the position should be absolute. And on the other hand, we may make some certain amendments right over here. Like in the first place, the display will be none. It is already been provided. We may create something additional like this background here. And definitely we may be using this padding property of, for say, 1 rem. There it goes. And as we have provided this padding property, so the box sizing, it should be held back to border box. If you have noticed earlier that whenever we had added this property of padding to any element, we always applied this individual property of box sizing. It is practically calculating the spaces to be left into the cell from the four corners of it. And now if we press Ctrl S and if we head back to our project and reload, we can see that this will be of course the obvious result. Now this definitely implies some further amendments of its properties, like we may reconsider this margin top property right over here, and we may apply some kind of background color to these individual list elements. So let's head back, and margin top 5 pixels, let's ignore it right over here. Padding is 1 rem, it is too far beyond to handle, so we provided this 0.5 rem here. And on the other hand, we may apply some background color to it. Press Ctrl S, head back to your project, reload, and we can see that this will be the obvious result. I think the margin, it should be reconsidered again. Instead of commenting it out, all we can do here, we may lessen it 3 pixels. So there will be a 3 pixels of margin from top. Yeah, it looks quite good. Here it goes. And on the other hand, all we need to do, we need to set some Z index value, or you may ignore it, but it is always preferable to put some additional Z index to the element that you want to keep afloat above all of the rest of the contents into your site. So that is why I have put this Z index equals to 1, and we can see that this will be the result. So we can see that there's practically no toggling between the main menu and the sub menu list items. Everything stays right into its position, and it looks quite good into our project. On the other hand, if we wish to do something additional like this, if we wish to apply some kind of transitional properties into it, all we can do, we may add a transition property. So transition to which one? We wish that the background color here, it will be smoothly transitional along with the color of the text that we had applied right over here. So let's head back, set the timing and set the transition property here. In a similar fashion, we wish to change the color. So this is why we had done it right over here. Copy this text element, and here in the first place, most transition, WebKit transition, image transition. So everything should be mentioned right over here. So the background color is changed, and we need to add this text color here. There it goes. Press Ctrl S, reload, and you can see that this will be the result. So we had set this 1 second time duration of the time duration to be 1 second. So instead of 1 second, all we can do, we may add a little bit of quickness to this color change properties. Press Ctrl S, head back, reload, and you can see that this will be the immediate result. So we have practically created a horizontal menu bar in the first place. In the next case, we had added some drop down list, and in the last case, all we did, we applied some CSS tricks in an order to make it a little bit more sustainable, and we added some kind of transitional properties to our individual sublist items that we had provided. So this is what we need to know from this tutorial. In the next tutorial, we will be talking on the CSS blending and the CSS filter effects.